but we also coach, teach, guide, influence. That is your job as a parent. It is not your job as a parent to let your kids watch sex and violence on their phone starting when they're 4 years old. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the Move podcast, motivating others virtually every day. Thanks for stopping in and joining me today. Got a good one in for you today. I got several this week that are going to be just awesome. I feel like very, very valuable information. Today, I'm going to start with Parenting 101 is going to be the name of the video. Before I get started, I kind of wanted to talk about, why do I talk about kids so much? Why am I focusing on youth? Guys, I feel like that is our long-term solution to our problems that we see today. Anything that, I'm going to do in my lifetime in my mid-30s is a short-term solution, okay? I'm almost statistically halfway through my life. So anything I'm going to do is going to be for the short term, but what I'm doing with my son is long-term. That makes sense? So that is why I am so big on youth. What are we doing with our youth? How are we raising our kids? What are we doing with our kids? So I did want to say that before I got into it. And before I get going, I wanted to read a couple quotes. One of them I heard a while back, and I went to go find actually where it originated from, and it said unknown. I did not come up with this, so whoever did come up with this, I apologize. I was not able to find the source. But I had a gentleman share this with me a long time ago, and it's just stuck with me, and it's, the greatest gift you can give your children is not your riches, but your roots and your wings. That's the one I couldn't find. I don't know who said that, but I heard that a while ago, and it resonated with me. The other one I feel like is really going to coincide with what I'm going to talk about is, children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded. That was by Jess Lair. So shout out to Jess Lair. So those are a couple of the quotes that are going to kind of coincide with what I'm going to talk about. The biggest thing is, as parents, that I feel like one of the biggest things right out of the gate is we're narcissistic anymore by nature. What do I mean by that? And I'm not saying we try to be, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, anytime our kids do something wrong, I see this all the time. Parents are so quick to, oh, well, it's from this person. Oh, it's because they're always on the phone, or, they're always passing blame. And it's never, man, I dropped the ball here. I can't believe my kid did that. I don't ever really hear that. So understanding, as a parent, you are the face to your family. You carry that torch day in and day out. And you need to own that. 100% own that. If your kid messed up, that's your fault. They're a kid. You're the parent. You need to take accountability as a parent. First thing I want to talk about is goals as parents. I have a goal as a parent with my son. Okay? We have goals. Do you have goals? Or are you just winging it, raising children with no goal? Something to think about. What is your goal as a parent? What are you trying to accomplish? There should be clear, concise benchmarks that you want to accomplish as a parent. Now I'm going to get into what these goals should look like a little bit, in my opinion. But we should have goals as parents. You should have a goal with anything you are doing in life. No matter what it is, you should always have a goal. You should never just be doing something in the dark, blindfolded. But what I see happening more often than not is we want to blend ourselves into our kids. We want to make them be more like us. We want them to see the world the way we see the world. We want them to behave the way that we behave. Have a network similar to our network. Have a house that's similar to our house. You know what I'm saying? But why? Why? That's you. That's your life. You should never just put that stuff on your children. Don't put your dreams and ambitions on your kids. They should have their own set of individual dreams and ambitions. It is not your job as a parent to force feed your goals and dreams that you didn't live up to on them in hopes that they will finally go do something. That's not fair to them, and it's causing serious, serious issues within our youth. Starts with parents. Parenting 101, parent accountability. The next thing I want to talk about is education for your kids. Now this is an onion. Okay, I'm not going to peel it back too much today, but it is an onion. But something I want you to think about, guys. And this is not a call out to anybody specific by any means. This is just a general opinion / fact. Our public school system sucks. It is garbage. The curriculum is garbage. And when you go to these boards of education meetings and you start questioning them, like, hey, why are you teaching this? Why is it this way? Oh, they don't have an answer. Well, it's just the way it is. It's like, guys, we can't lose common sense in education for our kids. We can't lose that. And we have lost it. And we've lost it completely. And again, this is not, and I know we have some awesome teachers, we have some awesome administrators. It's not their fault. I'm not bashing them. I'm not. But the whole system is flawed. The whole system is corrupt. The whole system is garbage. If you can homeschool your kid, you realize there are grants. They will send you a computer. You can get into museums and zoos at a very discounted price because that is their field trip. There are ways, and on top of that, you as a parent get to pick your curriculum. Okay, there are so many. I'm not going to get too big into it, and this is not to advertise for homeschooling, but what it is, guys, as a parent, you've got to own your child's education. It is your responsibility to make sure they get an adequate education. If they're in a system where it doesn't align with your vision and values, and you voice your concern, you voice your opinions, and the response is, well, it's just the way it is. Well, me taking them out is just the way it is too. And it's cheaper than you think. It's just going to require a little bit of work on your end, back end, to make things happen. And I know the last layer I'm going to peel on this onion is the first response I know I'm most likely going to hear is, well, I work during the day. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know a single employee that's rich. So why are you an employee? Yeah. Think about that. You're making somebody else rich. I tell people all the time, I will never hire somebody for anything that I do. All the companies that, my wife and I are involved in, we run ourselves. You know why? It's because I don't feel like I can pay another human being what somebody's worth. That's a fact. Not to mention, I also feel like as a human being, we are individual people, and a lot of us, and I know not everybody, trust me, but a lot of us, we are fully capable of being an entrepreneur. You are fully capable of running your own small business operation and making anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000 a year, working 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, if that. Yeah, that's a reality for a lot of people. A lot of people. And so when you know this information, it's your job as a parent to make sure you're doing your part as a parent to make sure you can do your part as a parent. Make sense? Next thing I'm going to move to is the influence for your kids. So who you surround your kids with, your circle of friends. Okay? Now, I've seen this, and I've had these circle of friends where it's all about drinking alcohol, partying, getting drunk, and understand if that's what you're going to be doing and that's the example you're setting for your kids and that's the life that you're setting up for them, unless they, there's always the odd me outs where they're considered the black sheep of the family, they leave because they don't agree with it. But I don't know why you'd want that life for your kids. I really don't, but that's, everybody has different views, I guess. I just don't feel like poisoning your body over and over and thinking that's a good time, is a good lifestyle for your kids, for you or your kids. Go get help. If you can't get through a day because without that, rum and coke, go get help. That's not normal. You've got some issues going on, and I'm not making fun of you by any means, but I'm just letting you know. Okay? Like, guys, I've been there, been down that road. Last thing I'm going to mention is habits and discipline for kids. So I'm a really big proponent on mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. Now, I don't sit down and make my son do mind, body, and spirit with me. But I will tell you, if I'm doing mind, body, and spirit and he's around, he will just naturally do it because I'm doing it. And I'm his dad and he loves me. He's trying to emulate what I'm doing. That's what kids do. And especially when you take away their technology, then they really want to emulate what you do because you are their example. You are their hero. Now, I had somebody comment the other day and said, oh, you're sheltering your kids from the world's problems. And no, I'm not. He's fully aware that this world is a very corrupt and evil place. I am teaching my son intelligence and depth. I'm teaching my son respect. And I'm teaching him, me. I'm not letting anybody else teach him. I'm teaching him myself as his father and as his parent. His mother is teaching him. That is the difference. We're not sheltering from him like these things don't exist. We filter heavily because he's of his age, but we also coach, teach, guide, influence. That is your job as a parent. It is not your job as a parent to let your kids watch sex and violence on their phone starting when they're 4 years old. 4 years old. And then we wonder why at 21, 22 they shoot people. Well, when you're 4 years old and you're watching people have sex and get shot and stabbed and people think that's funny, you're desensitizing your brain at a very, very young age. It's not even fully developed. You have no idea what the hell you're watching, but you're watching it non-stop because your parent wants to sit on their phone as well and watch the same stuff. Guys, stop. It is 2025. We have, and I'm going to get into this more in my segment on Lonely But Not Alone this week, but we have the ability to be more connected than we ever have been, and we are so far disconnected than we've ever have been. It doesn't make any sense, but it does when you understand the reasons behind things. So I wanted to stop in and just share Parenting 101, some things that I see from my chair, from my experiences, from places I've been, people I've talked to. What are some of the things that I've identified? Those were the top 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5. I just jotted some down that have, and it's just and I said it in one of my other, dude, we suck as a generation. I'm in my mid-30s. My generation sucks. You guys suck. Call it what it is. There's zero accountability. There's a bunch of narcissism, unreasonable, uncoachable. I could just go on and on. My generation is horrendous. I know this. I've been leading my generation for over a decade. Hiring, writing them up, trying to source them, trying to guide them, giving them advice, trying to build their careers, trying to help them buy houses and cars and all these things. I've been doing this stuff for over a decade. I am fully aware of what generation does what and what the pros and cons of each generation. I'm going to tell you right now, the younger generation below my generation will smoke my generation. And they do. They do. Now my generation, well, they're lazy. No, they're not going to put up with your shenanigans, buddy. $12 an hour is not going to cut it. And I'm sorry that we felt that it did at the time. These people are smarter than that. The average price where I'm at, $699,000. $699,000 is the average cost of a home where I live. And you want to pay somebody $12, $13 an hour? What the hell are they going to do with that? Like, what are you going to do with that? And then you want to criticize them for not doing it. Well, they started at the bottom. Well, good for you, buddy. Back when we started at the bottom, guys, houses weren't $699,000, were they? Rent wasn't $1,500 to $2,000. And if you have a house for $1,500, that's a shithole house. Pardon my language. But it is. Where I'm at, $1,500 is not going to get you anything. And not necessarily complaining on the price. I mean, I am. It's a problem, but the real issue is my generation doesn't understand why somebody won't work for $12 or $13 an hour. Buddy, but go do something yourself. Go build your business up until you can pay somebody what they're worth. Quit being lazy. There's a solution to your problem. Do more work so you can pay your people more. Quit spreading yourself so thin because you don't want to do anything. It's an accountability problem. But now I'm just going on tangents, so I'm going to cut this thing off. But I could just go on, guys. But as parents, though, we've got to do a better job. As a parents, it starts with us. These issues we see, it's us. I mean, this Charlie Kirk was 22 years old. Okay, and I'm not blaming his. I know his mom and his dad did not endorse this. I know that. I know they're sick and disgusted. My heart is with them. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even fathom being in their shoes. But at the same time, I would be willing to bet you if I sat them down and talked to him and asked him about his upbringing, about his technology time, I bet it's pretty severe. I bet he was very isolated, starting probably at a very young age. This stuff is preventable, but it starts with parents. It is your responsibility. When your child asks to play on your phone, it is your responsibility to say no. When your child wants to sit around and watch TV all day long and flip through YouTube, it is your responsibility to get them off the couch. Yours, not theirs. They don't know any better. You need to teach them better. They're a kid. You're a parent. Grow up so they can grow up. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for stopping into the Move Podcast, motivating others virtually every day. I do get a little passionate when I talk about parenting and kids and stuff because I see the problems all the time, and so I do get a little passionate, so I do apologize. I never intend to hurt anybody's feelings. I really don't. But I am going to call things how I see it. I think that's fair. And I see a lot of this stuff going on, and it just sickens me. And so hopefully after watching this, at least it can give you guys some thoughts, maybe think on some things. That's really what this is about, to try to inspire some change, inspire some hope. And it starts with our kids and as parents. So let's do better for our kids. Let's make this place an awesome place to live. Let's make it prosperous. And let's turn around and help the next American in line. That's what we do as Americans. As soon as you make it somewhere, you turn around and you put your hand out and help somebody else. Alrighty? Be disciplined, guys. Thanks for stopping in. God bless. Thank you. Love you.